Hey guys, what's going on? Josh here, and in this video, we're going to be going over organizing and managing your affiliate business. Now, I know that sounds super boring, and it's going to be one of those videos that you're not going to see in a lot of other places, but it's one of those fundamental things that you need to apply if you are going to be successful and you want to build a long-term and sustainable business in anything. This kind of applies for most things, but obviously we're going to gear this towards your affiliate business. And for the three P's here: productivity, profitability, and potential. And potential in the sense that if you do these things, you're going to increase your chances drastically of being able to actually make money and create a business online. So, a lot of people are going to be going through this and they're going to look at this video, and this is going to be the one that most people skip, and they're going to look at this and say, oh, I'm not going to watch this one, this is stupid, I want to learn how to do Facebook ads, I want to learn how to do this or whatever. But this is the one that the people that do watch it are going to be the ones that have a huge advantage to the others out there that are just trying to go out there and make that money without a real plan. So if that makes sense. So the first thing that you really got to do, you need to actually learn goals, milestones, and expectations. You really need to learn to manage expectations. So a lot of people, especially in the online space, there's a lot of those, what people like to call the get rich quick schemes. And any business that I show or do is not one of those. And most of them really aren't, because the get rich quick schemes aren't really sustainable businesses usually. So what I like to call this and these types of businesses are that you can make a lot of money fast with effort businesses, right? Because that's the difference. You could get rich quick. Of course, you can get rich quick doing anything, but the real key is you can make a lot of money fast with effort. And that's the key difference. So that goes back to managing your expectations. A sustainable business is going to stick around, and that's what your goal is here. You don't want to build something that's going to make you might make 10 grand in 30 days, whatever it is, but then that's it. Then you won't make money ever again. The real goal is to build something long-term and sustainable. So that, in quotes right there, I want to make 10K in 30 days. What should I do? I swear I see this all the time, and people actually do this in Facebook groups and all that, and you'll see it. They literally put that, and there's so much wrong with. There's actually two gaping things wrong with that sentence that it's actually painful to look at. But I literally do see it all the time in the groups. Now, can you make $10,000 in 30 days? Of course you can. Anybody can. You could actually make $1 million in 30 days if you do. But is it likely? No. There's a 99% chance that you're not going to do that. A 99% chance you won't make 10K in 30 days. You might. You can. But I doubt you will. So the two things that are really obviously wrong with this sentence, and it almost contradicts itself. I want to make $10,000 in 30 days. Obviously, that's not a real managed expectation. But the second part of it, what should I do? So basically what this person is asking is, I want to make money, but I have no idea how or why or what I want to do. So they basically want someone to just show up and say, oh, here you go. Here's how to make 10K in 30 days. And no one can teach how to make 10K in 30 days. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So you need to manage your expectations. And so something a lot of people say, and I've heard this too, the counter that well, if I set my expectations high, it gives me a better chance of succeeding. Honestly, that's just really not true. Just psychology wise, if you look at it this way, if you just say, oh, I'm going to set my goal for 10K, and then if I make 3K, I'll be happy. Well, then you never really had a real expectation from the start if you just threw out an arbitrary number hoping you would make it. So if you have one person that says, oh, I'm trying to make 10K in 30 days, and then they made 1,500, they failed miserably, right? Based on the expectation they set for themselves. Now, of course, most people will be happy with 1,500, but psychologically, you're going to think to yourself, I didn't really come close to that. And there's something about that that's really going to be kind of hurt your motivation and not help it. Whereas if you set a goal of, I'd really just like to make $500 this month, and then you turn around and made 1,200, you're actually going to feel better Sorry about that. You're going to feel better than the person that set his goal to some ridiculous number and fell just insanely short. So, and I'm going to give you a firsthand, just a real quick, like, of why this is true. I've attempted, and I still have multiple businesses, but I've attempted more than I have now because obviously as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, some businesses fail. They don't always succeed. And any real entrepreneur will tell you sometimes you have to fail multiple times before you can succeed, that whole thing. And one thing I notice is that you need to actually set the real expectations, because what's going to happen now, obviously I have multiple businesses, but I didn't start them all at once and say I'm going to grow all these things at one time. I started with one and worked my way through. But one thing I noticed, whereas if I started one and I wasn't getting the results that I initially thought I would, what I would find myself doing is actually just gravitating back towards the things I knew and was comfortable with. And even if I knew I needed something to get done in that other business, I would always put that off on the back burner. And that I was never really giving that a chance, basically, is what that comes down to. Because if you're not going to give it, and this kind of goes right into the next thing here with persistence and consistency and focus, if you're not going to put in what you need to put in, it's never going to have a chance anyways. And that's the thing about making real expectations. If they start to fail, psychologically, you're going to go back and you're just going to start to gravitate towards things you're familiar with. And that might even be if you're still in a real job. You might just say, well, I can just go back and make my money at my real job. And then it's just never going to have a chance. So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. So that takes you right into persistence, consistency, and focus. So these three things right here are basically the same three principles I apply to every single business that I've started. And it's build, automate, and scale. And I'll go over that on the next one. But you really, really need to stay persistent and you need to focus. Now, when I say focus, when you jump into a business, you really need to be laser focused on what you need to accomplish. And if you do, you're going to notice a huge difference. I know a lot of these things just sound like these weird, corny, gimmicky things, but it's honestly true that a lot of these things do work, and they really do help. And I can tell you firsthand that they do. You need to stay persistent, even if what you're doing isn't working. You need to figure out what's not working, and almost reverse engineer it. Why isn't this working? And then adjust, and then move forward with your game plan. So that's pretty much, and then you need to stay consistent in following that game plan, whatever it may be at the time. And then write down your goals, and you need to actually write this down in like on a physical piece of paper. And I will tell you firsthand, this is what I mean, what I was talking about. Writing them down literally changed my productivity, and it changed everything. So just go out and buy a whiteboard if you can, or anything. Just have a notepad, something. I went out, I bought a huge whiteboard, and what I started doing a while ago, every night, or sometimes early in the first thing in the morning, depending on how busy the night was, but every night I'd go to the whiteboard. I'd already have a list of things on there from the previous day. And then what I would do is I would erase every single thing that I accomplished that day. And sometimes there would be whatever. If there was a couple left, maybe I got them all and I had extra time, but maybe I missed 2 things. I would take those 2 things, I would move them up and reprioritize them. And then what I would do for the next day, for tomorrow, I would have a new list of everything I wanted to get done for that next day. And I swear it changed it just changed my productivity, because rather than me just trying to sit there, and I'll be honest, I'll think of something and then 2 hours later I forgot what I thought about. I'm that person. You might not be, but either way, this is going to help. But if you just try to sit there and think about these things, there's a lot of aspects in businesses especially that you need to kind of factor in. And if you try to do it without actually writing things down or having some sort of organization, it's going to kill you. It really will. And what it really is, it's more an accountability on yourself. Because if I had a whole list of things on that whiteboard, and then that day I just decided to blow it off, which, whatever, I just went out, did something all day, I went to the beach, I don't know, whatever I did. I don't like the beach, but whatever. If I came back that night and I walked up to that whiteboard and I wasn't able to erase anything, it's really like an accountability on yourself. Like mentally, you're just not going to feel good about that. You might have had a great day doing all this stuff, but that night, when you look at that, at what your business needed to do that day, and none of it got done, you're going to sit there and say, oh, wow. And you're going to see it's just not a good feeling. And you're going to realize you need to actually, set those things, and then you need to actually perform on them. And if you don't, reprioritize and go for it again. And that's pretty much that. So take accountability on yourself. Like I said, I know these things really sound like ridiculous, but I'm telling you, you need to do them. And that's most people honestly won't do them watching this video. I guarantee you most people won't, because I was the same person. I saw this stuff and I'm like 6 years ago, I'm like, I'm not going to write this. Is ridiculous. I'm not doing it. And I'm telling you, it changed everything. Just take my word for it. So build, automate, and scale. Like I said, this is literally the same concept I apply to all of my businesses today. And just to give you a quick breakdown, build is basically what it sounds like. This is pretty self-explanatory. You're building your business from square one. You're starting, you're making your plan and you're building it, and that's that. I'm going to go over each one in a minute. And then you're going to automate it with software and productivity hacks. I'll talk about that in a second. And then you're going to scale it by training and outsourcing to new workers. So to build, the second you start your online business, you need to actually think like a CEO, not just on your business, but in your everyday life. Because if you just stay in that mindset, and I'm going to go again with this mindset stuff, but if you put yourself into that mindset, it's going to make a huge difference in your life and in your business at the same time. Because you need to program, you need to make it a habit to think like that. And if you're working like a desk job too, like you need to go, if you might be that person that just goes into work and, you slack, you're hanging out at your desk, whatever. So I was in construction for 7 years before I started my first online business. 7 years. And I was never that person. I didn't go to college. Well, not after high school. I ended up getting my associates afterwards, but by the time I got my associates, I was already doing well enough in my business. I just stopped. But anyways, so I was in construction for almost 7 years, and I was never that person to just go and hide. For those of you in construction, you'll know, like you have that guy that he'll go and hide somewhere, he'll hide in the bathroom, he'll hide somewhere on the job site, whatever it was. There's one of those guys on every crew. And I was never that person. And I started when I was 17. 4 years at 21, I was the foreman. And it was a big company up in New England. And a big unionized company. Probably 50, 60, 70 guys. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But 4 years I was a foreman for that company. I was the youngest foreman they ever had. And I was literally delegating to people, to the guys that actually trained me and taught me everything I knew. It's a really weird feeling at first, and in my case, it caused a lot of weird situations because just the way, it's weird to actually go and end up managing somebody that kind of showed you what you knew, but that's just the way I was. I was always focused and driven on every single thing, even at work, and it paid off. Like I did well. I made almost 6 figures. Some years I would make 6 figures in a construction job, and I left that because I started my first business while I was still there part-time, and then here I am, 6 years later today. But so that's pretty much that. You do need to have that mindset, and you need to apply it to your everyday life. And that's pretty much that. Now, 50% learning, 50% action. This is a big one. You need to spend whatever time you dedicate to your online business per day. If you're doing this part-time, whatever, let's say you just want to give 2 hours per day. You need to spend 1 hour learning, researching, whatever it is that you want to learn about. The other hour needs to be spent actually doing things for your business. Because literally every single day I see people, they get caught up in that analysis paralysis, and they're learning all of this stuff. And the problem is the internet is such a wealth of knowledge for people now that you can literally go on there, and one minute you can be learning about business, and then 5 minutes later you could be going through YouTube and you're like learning about like fishing or something. It's crazy. There's such a wealth of knowledge that it makes it very easy to get caught up just learning and not taking action. So I'm here to tell you that you need to actually take action. And again, there's going to be this is why so many people think like this is so hard, because They don't just follow basic steps. Like there's going to be another certain percentage of people that just don't take action. They sit there and learn, and then they're going to be the ones that fail too. And then they're, why did I fail? It's because you didn't do anything. You can't get results if you don't do anything. What's the Newton? Without for every action there's a reaction, right? So without any action there's no reaction. There's nothing. That's it. So that's, you end up thinking so far ahead. You're learning about stuff you can't even apply to your business until you're maybe 2 years in. Like you need to actually focus on the foundational aspects of your business first, and that's that. So that's my rant on that. The next one for building, and you're going to thank me for this later. I wish someone told me this when I had started. Document every single process and every aspect of your business. Anything that you do within your daily business activities, whatever it is, record it on a video, write down the steps. You need to do something because it will pay off in the future when you actually go to scale your business. Trust me. I guarantee you. And I wish someone told me to do that. You'll understand why after, but just document everything. You need to know every single process. So automating your business. This is where you want to start to do like productivity hacks, I call them. Shortcuts. Obviously not cutting corners, but shortcuts and productivity hacks. Just anything that reduces your daily workload is something you want to apply to this. So this mostly software. That's what mostly automating is taking softwares to automate your business. So like for an affiliate, a lot of automation and productivity hacks for things like Zapier, who have all these integrations some things that just reduce your workload of just like maybe mundane tasks like, filling in spreadsheets and things like that. There are automations that can actually do a lot of that stuff for you. So just research whatever it is you're getting into. Try to find some softwares to anything that's going to reduce your workload. And then when you're automating, and this kind of just goes, it kind of fits in here, but it's kind of just more in general. And a lot of people disagree with this too, but this is kind of the approach I take. Grow horizontally and then vertically. A lot of people, and basically what that means is like vertically is if you're going to really just dig deep into one segment of something and just go kind of all in on that. And to me, that for an online business, especially when you have so many different variables, isn't really the best way to go. I mean, it's one thing to be laser focused on one thing and being like an expert at it, and that's great. But with an online business, that was my phone. It's fine. With an online business, you kind of need to expand and build a bigger. You need like a footprint for yourself, really, because there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong with an online business, right? Because if you have all your eggs in one basket, like for example, I think it happens every now and then, like Facebook ads, they just didn't work for a day, right? That's crazy. Imagine if you just built your business and you knew what you were making, like you were comfortable making stuff every day. Now, yeah, maybe one day's not going to kill you, but just the other, I think it was, whatever it was a couple weeks ago, other day, Facebook ads just stopped working. Everyone that built their business solely on Facebook ads didn't make money that day. That's crazy, right? To think about. Just because that one traffic source stopped working, most people probably made nothing that day. Now, granted, yeah, it came back. So it's not a great example, but a better example is like a lot of like blog networks. When Google would come in and change the algorithms, there's websites that are just gone because of that. They might have been top ranked, top page, whatever it was, but Google comes in and they just slap them and that's it, gone. And then that website's never making money again. It might take them months or years to get back to the point where they were. But if they had, rather than just going vertically on Google Ads, or not Google Ads, organic rankings or whatever, and they'd expanded out, they probably would have at least been able to salvage their business and rebuild a lot of it. But for the most part, I mean, anyone that just focused on that would have been done. So the way I look at it is, if you like picture a skyscraper, right? Like a really tall building. You're just like, what does Gary Vee call that? 30,000 view. You're looking at your business from like 30,000 feet away. If you just see this one big tall skyscraper off in the distance, what that tells me is you just have a ton of risk, because that's it. It's just this one big tall skyscraper. There's a lot going on there. But if you look at it and you have and you can actually see like a little city, this is a really weird metaphor. You just see, rather than just seeing one big huge building, you just see a whole skyline, right, of 30-story buildings. You might look at that and say, oh wow, that's a good foundation, that's a good structure, a good footprint, whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm not saying go in there and jump in and start focusing on 10 different things, because again, you still need to focus, but start with one. Rather than taking it up to 100, take it up to 30, and then move horizontally. Maybe you go from Facebook, maybe you go to Pinterest, right? And then take Pinterest up here. Then go this way. Then you want to start some PPC campaigns, then go here. And then you'll notice all of them together, all of a sudden they'll start to rise as well. So they all kind of complement each other. And then if one falls down, you're not stuck. You still have others to kind of pick up the slack, right? So build a city, not a skyscraper. That's the best way I can put it. I don't know. So scaling your business, you need to be, this is, I don't know if I explained this before, but like, this is as you progress through your business. So this is going to be later in your business. You're not at this point, obviously, now if you're just starting, but you built it and then you're going to automate it and then you're going to scale it. Just the simple steps I follow. And that's pretty much that. And then at this phase is when you're going to take yourself from working for the business. It's going to take yourself working for the business, so you're no longer working in it. So you're kind of working up here and you're delegating to, whatever, your employees, your virtual assistants, however you hire out. But the way you want to scale is you need to outsource based on what is going to free up your valuable time, not necessarily by what's the most important. So you need to start off by outsourcing just the basic tasks that are very easy to train, and you can have someone do, like whatever, like emails, filling out spreadsheets, stuff like that. That's all your valuable time that you need to be putting elsewhere. Or even if you're making videos, maybe you go and record the video and then you pass it off to your team, and they do all the SEO stuff, the thumbnails and this and that, and then they upload it. That way you just make your video and you're done. That's it. So that's kind of one example of how you scale by outsourcing, and you need to start to build a team, really is what it is. Because then what you do is you can build that team, and then you can free up literally almost all of your time. Not only does that create a passive income, you can now focus your efforts on something else. And obviously you still need to dedicate time towards that team, but you need to structure it so that they're also being managed, and then someone is being managed by you. You don't want to be managing 20 different people. That's not how we do it. You may have 20 people in one segment, but then you have maybe a couple people managing a couple different sections, and then you have one person managing the rest of it. And then it's a typical business structure. That's how you have to think of it, right? The CEO of GM isn't down in the shop talking to, and delegating to every single person building the trucks. So that's the way you need to look at it. And this is where documenting your processes, this is where that's going to pay off big time, because when you actually get to that point, when I built my first one, I had no idea that I was going to need to do this. I wasn't thinking that far ahead at the time. So that's why I'm trying to give you this advantage. Now, yeah, I get it. This is probably a little far ahead for you, but you still need to think about it. When you build a business, you always need to think about these things. So this is where that's going to pay off. It's going to make it a lot easier to train. Some people like to train VAs really early, almost right away, because if they don't know something very well or they don't want to learn it, and that's fine too. A lot of people do that. If you have the money to spend for the VA up front, that's perfectly fine. So, but sometimes you do need to train them, and you kind of have to have that information ready. Makes it a lot easier. So, this is pretty much the last thing I'm going to go over here, but this is kind of the most important. Well, not really, but this is basically just breaking down your business. Now, these 4 quadrants here, as you want to call them, you can pretty much apply them to any single business that exists today, right? Because you have a product and a service. Every business has a product and a service that they offer. Even nonprofits have a service that they offer. So every single business has a product or a service. Marketing and sales, obviously, especially in online businesses, that's it's going to be the most important thing. Finances, obviously, all of these are probably equally as important, because finance, you need to be keeping track of your finances. You need to be planning for your finances, make sure you're making money, factoring in everything, budgeting, all that stuff. Administration is going to be all that. So each one. So product and service for an affiliate business is what we're going to go over, obviously. Let me show you something here. So product and service for you don't necessarily, I obviously I recommend building your own product and services in the future, but if you're just starting off with just promoting affiliate offers, those affiliate offers are your product, right? So I'm going to show you just an example here of a way to look at this. And now these are all, I put those 4 quadrants in for a reason, not just for you to look at, like you actually have to take action on them. So like for your product and service, here's an example spreadsheet right here that is going to show you, this is your product, this is your affiliate link, and this is organization too, mind you. So this is also that factor of it. The category that it falls in, the commission rate you're going to get, and it's convenient too if you put the username and password. Obviously, there's solutions for that. Automation as well, like OnePass. There's extensions that save all the passwords. Google saves your passwords, but I put it there. Obviously not filled in for you to see, and that's that. So this is my way, and this, has a bunch of stuff that I, actively promote, and for the most part anyways. And this is a good way to structure for an affiliate business your product or service. Not only does it make your links easily accessible and all that too, because what are you going to do every time you need to put a link somewhere? You're just going to go log into the website and then go pull your link. You need to have all your links sorted out in a nice, clean spreadsheet. That way, when you're ready, if you're making a blog post, whatever you're doing, and you're ready to stick your affiliate link somewhere, just open up your spreadsheet. Here they all are right there. That's it. So this is an example of something, an action you can take with your product and service. Now, obviously, I still recommend going through and building through, like in the other video, you'll see about creating your value ladder and your offer. Eventually, to build a sustainable business, you do want to shift into start promoting your own stuff, but you can totally build a great business out of just affiliate offers. A lot of people do it. Finance. This is I literally just do this together in like 5 seconds. The ones my team uses, obviously a lot more advanced than this, but for just starting off, you can put this together, throw this together in literally 10 seconds. Have your affiliate offers there, have a month, or however you want to break it down. Perhaps you want to do like how we do it. We have each month as a separate sheet, and you want to break down on like an itemized point of view every single expense and form of income. Or if you kind of have everything already figured out, you can just do the calculations right here. But on a basic level, this works. Obviously, as you scale up, you want to do something more advanced where you're itemizing everything. That's how we do it. But start with this. Literally, for an affiliate business, it's pretty simple. That's why I just did this, because you have, your cost of traffic and any software you might subscribe to, and then your income, whatever your, commissions are rather. And that's pretty much it. So you can just break that down really easy. And you need to do this. If you're not doing this, you're just going to fail. It's as simple as that. You need to be in control of your finances, because I will tell you, I know of people that they could do tens and if not hundreds of thousands in revenue, but they're not accurately tracking their finances and they're not making money. That's common in e-commerce, especially because sometimes you might get into something where the margins are so razor thin. It's really difficult to know if and when you're making money unless you break everything down the right way. So that's super, super important to be in control of your finances there. Administration, that's going to be all of your back end work. Like all of your VAs and employees are going to be all within your administration. Any kind of paperwork, stuff like that, spreadsheets, all that stuff falls under administration. Anything that your team's going to be working on that has to get done. This is also going to be in like if you're at the point, you don't need it right away, but when you get to the point of forming an LLC, administration work is going to be like annual reports. All the states are different, whatever it is, and all of that stuff's going to fall into there. So one thing I will tell you that we do, it's very cheap. I think it's like $10 a month, maybe $5 a month. I'm going to show you quick, my desktop real quick, right? I don't usually do this. Everything that I pretty much need, I have right here. So all of these folders are all linked into our Google G Suite account, our Google Drive. So all the files are linked to a Google Drive. I have these same folders on my any laptop I have, and any assistants that specific ones they need access to can get those. And then obviously I like the Google Doc sheets and slides because those are things I use often. Spotify is a must have. Music's great. And then everything I really need is kind of right here that I get into. So that I'm telling you, if you have the $10, I think it's $10 a month, $10 a month to spare for G Suite, you can really organize your business much, much better. And it's going to give you permanent access everywhere from your laptop on the go, your phone. All the emails are going to be synced up to your phone, and anyone in your business is going to be able to get access to that. So I totally recommend getting that. It's going to organize the hell out of it because, especially with an affiliate business, there can still be a lot of moving parts in there if you have a lot going on. But that's one thing I can definitely recommend doing. It's a great place when you start, if you're working with a lot of different images or banners, logos, things like that, a lot of content, you can just really organize it all. And it's going to make things so much easier. It's going to save you a ton of time productivity wise. So that's pretty much that. Marketing and sales. This is, like I said, probably one of the most important ones. And I know people are going to do this. You can't just go to marketing and sales and when someone asks you your marketing plan, you just put down Facebook ads, right? There's going to be people that do that. If you actually do this, which there's going to be people that don't. But I swear to God, there's going to be people that Facebook ads. That's my marketing plan. Oh. So if you're a small business and you're going to a bank for a small business loan to start your small business, right? And when you do this, you need to have a business plan that you're presenting usually. So when you get to the marketing point and the banker asks you for your $100,000 startup loan, he says, "Oh, what's your marketing plan?" "Oh, Facebook ads." All right, that's cool. And then that's when he's going to just kick you out. So when you actually talk about your marketing and sales plan, you need to really break it down because especially for an affiliate business, this is where it's going to make or break you, right? You could have the best finance, you could have the best administration, the best products. If you can't market and sell it, you're not going to make money. And that's the end of it. So you need to go down like, yes, you want your traffic source. Like, okay, so, we're going to start off on Facebook organically and move into Facebook ads. And our lead generation strategy for that, like we're going to split test different ads that do A, B, and C. We're going to have, different images testing. Maybe we're going to test images that relate to this and then this and this. We're going to test videos doing this. So that's our traffic source strategy. And our lead gen strategy is we're going to be promoting, we're going to be giving away, this free course right here for this lead gen strategy. And then from that lead gen, then they move into the sales phase where they're going to be put into and this is for, let's just say, you want to break this down for each product. I just wanted to throw that in there. You can have multiple marketing plans for different affiliate products, especially for an affiliate product, right? You're not going to do the same thing for every product. So then they go from the lead gen, they go in, then they're going to hit this pre-sell, this pre-frame pre-sell video for this offer. And then at the same time, they're going to be put on this email list and they're going to have that. So you can see what I'm getting at, right? Like the marketing plan isn't Facebook ads. The marketing plan is who, what, where, why, how you're getting all this traffic, how they're coming through, where they're getting the information from. All of that stuff is all combined in there. So make sure you actually do that. I swear to you, it's going to help you in the long run because you're going to get stuck at one point because you're going to get the shiny object syndrome. You watched 100 videos on YouTube and you're learning about messenger bots already. And you're sitting there trying to start your first offer. And you're like, oh, well, how am I going to put the messenger bot in there? Like, oh, what am I going to do? You just need to literally start with the foundation and get it and take action and get it going, right? Because you're going to get stuck. And this is where you're going to come back to, is this plan. And you're going to say, oh, that's right. I'm going to do this right here. And that's going to go. And that's pretty much that. So like this, that's basically it. I'll show you one more thing here for actually organization wise. It's free, Trello. So this is the Trello board that we use. We basically have everything broken down within this right here. It's so you click on one. I'm not going to go in because a lot of the stuff, it might have like a lot of information there. I'm not going to put on here, but there's going to be loads. I'll create one for you. So like you're going, you're going to create yourself a board, and then whatever it is, say it's for affiliate offers, and then you could do something like, to-do list, and then, content, or like blog post ideas, something like that. And these are all very similar things to how I started with. So like video ideas, and then you could do something like keyword research, and then each thing will have like its own thing. So you add a card. So like for keyword research for health and fitness, now that's broad, but just to give you an example. And then another one for, you're going to do like supplements, something like that. And you go down the video ideas, like how to do ABC, whatever it is, blog post ideas. So you can have your blog post titles, and you get this from your phone too, because like I'm the person that I'll be just driving and I'll think of something like, oh my God, I need to write that down. So, you jump in there, blog post ideas, and then you jump in like 54 ways to do this, right? So like, and this is what we do for every single aspect. And then our team has access to certain ones. If we have certain things that we need to add to their to-do list, they have a standard one that they follow. But if they have additions, they might go in there and see that, okay, I need to do this today, or like something is due next week. We need to finish that by next week. Trello's free. So it's not like I'm not pitching you on some program right now. A lot of people use Asana, I think it's called. I don't see the need for paying for one when Trello works just fine. It's totally functional. And that's pretty much that. So you definitely want to go in, get Trello. Use this if you don't have a whiteboard. Use this as your whiteboard, but make sure you're looking at it. I still recommend a whiteboard because there's nothing really beats being able to physically see your goals and your actions. So, but that's pretty much this. Get Trello, get some spreadsheets going, get everything broken down and organized, make a plan, and then take action with the plan is the biggest thing. Make sure you're actually taking that action. Like I said, 50% learning, 50% action, right? And that's pretty much it. So put it all to good use.